This lesson is an important lesson about how to hold your violin in playing position. So the violin is going to be between our shoulder and our jaw here. So just look at it first. You see shoulder rest is on the shoulder, chin rest. We call this a chin rest, but really it's the side of your jaw. It's not your chin here like this. It's here like this. So how do we find that position with the instrument? Well, we can start taking your left hand, putting it on your right shoulder. And then you can have somebody help you with this. Bring the violin around, push it up all the way against your neck. Shoulder rest is on my shoulder. Then I just turn my head slightly, just maybe not even that much, just really just lean the jaw over, and I press down, pinning the violin here. So that's our position. Now, what are the things that we want to avoid when we're doing this? Well, a really common thing for very, very beginners and especially very young students is trying to put the violin right in front like this. This is obviously not on your shoulder, so it's no longer a shoulder rest. So this is just a thing, they'll pick it up and set it here like this, and we can't really play here. The other thing that we'll see is trying to leave space between the violin and the neck, so the violin is actually slipping down. Shoulder rest is not up on the shoulder, it's falling down here. You're having to hold it up entirely with your hand. Can't even really get it here. So that violin has to be pushed all the way in, touching the neck. Shoulder rest has to be on, or your sponge, and adjusted to the right position and height. So we can just practice doing that. We come from here, pushing that violin all the way in, up on our shoulder, jaw down. Now we're holding it. So a good test here is, and you can do this without taking your hand completely away, we should be able to hold the violin in position just with our shoulder and our chin. So I should be able to hold that violin there. You can see. I'm taking my hand away, I'm holding it. You can even do that. It's a little practice exercise. Let's talk about the angle here. There is some adjustment on how far to the side or to the front the violin is going to sit. And it depends a lot on the length of your arms. Because when we go to bow and we're trying to use the whole bow, if you have shorter arms, which is very common with the smaller students, the kindergarten, first grade students, then you really won't be able to bow to the tip if your violin is all the way over here. And so they'll have to bring the violin a little further in. Now, if you're tall and you have very long arms, and you'll see this sometimes in old videos too, this violin may be very far to the side like this. Because you have a very long arm, you need that violin turned away so that you can actually use the entire bow. So, but a good neutral position, especially when we're not using the bow, is just to start here. You know, not too far center, not too far out to the side. Somewhere in here where we're able to hold it. So we can just practice putting that up and down into position. Now, here's another reason that this violin will migrate towards the center. We get position set up, I'm holding it, I'm ready to play, but my music is over here. And so I have two choices. And the choice that most beginners will make is, well, I want to read my music or I want to see my fingers while I play, and kind of pointing this way. So I'll just bring this violin around like that. Now I can see my fingers and I can see my music, but we're completely out of position. The violin is now sort of on my collarbone, and I can't really hold it up very well. It dips down. So that's obviously not what we want to do. We don't want to bring the violin around to be able to read the music. So it's a very simple solution. I'm in position, my music is over here, My fingerboard is here. I'm going to turn my entire body. Now my scroll is pointed towards what would be my music stand. I'm able to see my fingers and see my music. You can do that if you're standing, it's very easy. You just turn like this. If you're sitting in the chair, you may have to turn the chair, which is why in the orchestra you'll see that the chairs are set up not straight side by side, but turned in. So you have to turn your chair, or you can turn in your chair or stool, but just turn so the scroll is more pointing towards where I want to see with my eyes, and I can see my fingers. So be very careful about that. Don't let the violin, don't bring your arm around to pull the violin off your shoulder, because then it's here, and then it's falling down. And you can, if you're having trouble getting comfortable, you can mess with the position of your shoulder rest, change how far is it angled this way, for example, like that, or I can bring it around, change the angle a little bit that way, just find the comfortable position. You can change the height of the shoulder rest, and of course if you're using a sponge, you don't have to adjust that so much, but that's hold the violin in playing position.